What up everybody, WiserOner here with Tattoo Pro Stencils, and now we're going to show you how to do a Chinese dragon airbrush tattoo with your Tattoo Pro Stencils. So come on in and check it out. First thing you're going to do is take your dragon head stencil. This is what we start off with. We're going to lay it down a bit lower on the center of the section we're tattooing here because we still have to add the body and everything. So I'm going to hold it down the best I can. Remember, some of the air from your airbrush can actually hold down the stencil provided you are directly above it. If you turn to the side, it's not going to work. You have to be directly on top of it. But I'll go ahead and start spraying in the detail area and lightly around the edges of the face of the dragon here. And the detail areas, I'm going to make sure to get everything nice and fully filled in. And I'm going to shift my fingers up as needed while I do this. Once again, if your stencil shifts out of place, you just put it right back in place and keep on going. And now I'm ready to finish up the top here. Pull it away, make sure I didn't miss any spots. Right here I missed a little bit, so I'll go ahead and lay my stencil back down in the appropriate place and give it another little touch. And good to go. Alright, next I'm going to take the body. Now the way this is designed is it can be positioned in various different ways. You can put yours in whichever way suits you. I feel like this way is going to be best. This part you don't really spray. This is just to kind of like lay over the head. You're really only going to be spraying into here and here just to match up. But I usually start with the claw here. And go ahead and start spraying, getting that claw down and up and around here into the neck, making sure not to go past there. Coming back over this way, I don't spray around this whole thing solid. That actually gets faded away because it's going to disappear into a cloud. So I'll kind of stay away from that area and I'll continue on over here. Notice I'm having to shift the stencil so that it goes around the arm here. And this is up, but it doesn't matter because I'm just spraying right here. And I can get the second claw on this side. Go ahead and lift that up, make sure everything is in place. Good to go. Alright, so from here I can grab my cloud stencil. This one is a freestyle. You're basically going to use it, turn it, flip it in different ways to get a random pattern. I normally like to start off behind the dragon's head here, so I'll put a little cloud sticking out, make sure to get the swirl in there and around, and make sure really good not to go over any of the head that I've already laid down. If there's any open areas, that's okay. We're just going to close them off. Go down here a little bit. Let's actually flip this around. Notice I'm constantly turning and rotating the cloud stencil here. That way I can get a randomized look. Random always looks natural. Stamped does not look good. If you just sit here and go like this, you're just going to stamp it. It's not going to look that great. Always much better if you just pick a way to rotate it each time you add a new one. So see here now, I can kind of put this little cloud popping out from behind and then kind of add a little bit of shadow, kind of makes it look like the body's disappearing back into those clouds. And we'll add this here and another little cloud up here, and then I think we're probably at a good stopping point as far as the clouds. Next thing is the tail. The tail you can put going whichever way you want. Let's go ahead and have it curving out. This little spot here we created. And this goes on really quick. And there we go. Now we're pretty much ready to start doing all the details. So I'm going to grab my trusty freestyle tool. And I'm going to start out here at the face. This curve lines up with the cheek. Going to spray a little bit of of depth there. Bring it across the teeth here. This little corner here lines up with that nostril. So you can add a little bit of depth there and there. In the nose, that looks really good. Also, we'll line up this lower jaw here, and this one we kind of have to work both ways and be careful, but we ultimately want a little lip there. Moving up here toward the eye, go like that there. We're going to separate the ear a little bit depth to the ear, make that pop out. All these little forehead folds we're going to add depth to. And then we're also going to want to separate the horns, these long horns that extend up. We'll kind of separate around those so that they pop out, give a really awesome structure. There and there. And now we're ready to start moving on towards the body. I'll move up to this claw here and basically just mask off the fingers. Add a little bit of depth to this leg here and along the top as well, and add a little bit of shadow underneath that body and underneath this side of the leg. I'm going to line this up with the body to get this fin up here and around this curve so that I can continue with this. Next I'm going to kind of just get this lined up here and just give it a little hit. That way all this can look good, and I'll mist that in a little bit and that there as well. Coming around here, second claw, bam, bam, bam. Once again, just masking off the nails and popping them out a little bit, and then I'll add a little bit more shadow there. As far as all the clouds go and the tail all we got to do is separate that a little bit and then move this down, separate that, make it look like it's popping out and around, and we'll have a little shadow there, and line that up, on these curly cues, I'm just basically going to use this curved edge to mask off some of these circles, and then just add a little bit of depth to them. That way they look like they're swirling outwards. Now this is not an exact circular shape, so you can only use it around part of the curve, but it should be just enough to get that little part you're looking for. These ones that stand by themselves, I'll kind of do that, and then just add a little bit of, this one went over that way, so I'm going to do this one the opposite. Just kind of adds a little bit of extra oomph to the design. This right here on the dragon is probably the most tedious part. Then again, keep in mind, this is a step you don't have to do in order to make the tattoo look good, but doing this step actually makes your tattoo rock that much harder. I'm going to add a little one there. I'm just finding everywhere I can to kind of do these things. And it looks like we're just about finished. I'm going to add a little bubble there, and now we're ready for the final touches. Actually, while I still have this in my hand, I'm going to go up here to the shoulder, and we're going to do this like fan pattern that is basically caps it off at the shoulder using the freestyle tool. This is kind of a traditional look for this type of tattoo. Notice I'm using the curves to kind of follow the curve of the body. I'm going to continue that around the shoulder cap as well. And then just kind of that in. Now we're ready for the highlights. Using my cosmetic swab and 99% alcohol, I'm going to dip the swab in, and I can use this to basically add in some highlights. Notice how I took that all the way down into the neck area. You can add highlights like onto your jaw here, up in these nose areas, anywhere where it's going to pop out and give you a little bit more oomph. You can use the pointy end too for the finer details. Like putting scales in here, I like to just lightly rub the tip and create the illusion of the scales. Yeah. Highlight some of these finger things. Where else do we need some highlights? Let's add a little bit of highlight under here. And we'll get some scales going on there. We'll also highlight the fins on the end of the tail. Other than that, it's pretty much a couple spots here and there. And we'll do a little highlight in the eye. That's pretty much it. Alright, so there you have it. Chinese dragon arm tattoo using your Tattoo Pro Chinese Dragon set. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the section below. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on all the other awesome tutorials here at Tattoo Pro. Thanks for watching. Have fun with your airbrushes.